Be going over a hip hinge. I'm going to call this a hip flexor hinge. I'm going to teach you guys how to drive and pull through your hip flexors to create the good old hip hinge or deadlift. A lot of people don't know how to properly lengthen their glutes to get into a hinge, and that's what this is all about. So for right now, we're both going to find our ASIS on the front of our pelvis. This is that big bony knob on the front of your hips, guys. There's two of them, one on each side. If you feel that knob, rub it hard so you know where it is. Then slide your fingers just below that into the muscle tendon stuff down here. And if you guys rub side to side, I want you to feel those big thick bands and cables. Those are your actual hip flexors, and that's what we're going to use to pull you into your hip hinge. So Amarok, from here I'll have you turn sideways. For those of you following along, we're going to keep the fingers on the ASIS, on the soft tissue, on that muscle stuff underneath there. So I'm going to come around the back side here. So from right here, I'm going to have Amarok soften his knees. That's all I want to start with. And then I want him to feel like his fingers are going to push back into this soft tissue of the hip flexors. And he's going to come down a little lower, about right there. Now from here, I want him and who y'all following to feel as though you're going to pinch your fingers in the hip crease as you go down. And we're trying to feel as though we're quite literally pulling our hips into this fold and truly trying to fold in half. So from here, you know you're in a good spot. Well, first, real quick, we're going to get the knees a little farther forward. So we want to feel lengthening across the glutes, guys. So as we're hinging, we want to make sure we feel that. Do you feel length back there? So just because I see him getting a little compressed on the back, we're going to very lightly shift the ribs back. I want him to get longer from tailbone to the top of the head. I'm going to tap you here just to get a little longer. Now we're going to try to fold a little deeper, creasing and pinching up on our fingers. You guys are going to take a big inhale, and as you exhale, we put a ton of pressure in the ground and stand up nice and slow. And the hips will just move forward. And we're going to go right back through two more of them. So we're going to come down nice and slow, drawing into the hip flexors, pulling the chest down. The lower you get, the more I want you to not bow knees open too much. Just on this last one, you're going to come down. We're going to stay there a little bit longer. And I want you to hold the effort of the hip flexors trying to fold you. You're going to push your knees forward a little extra with that. And now I want you to imagine there is a wall right above you that's going to block you from standing up. And you're going to try to put as much pressure into the ground as you possibly can without moving. And we're building sensation in the glutes as much as we can, hamstrings, thighs, everything. And right about the time your glutes don't feel like they could work any harder, we're then going to ride that sensation up and out of the hip hinge. And that's it.